Okay, Let's Paint TV in the house. Thanks again for being here. We enjoy the fact that you come and watch our show. Okay. All right. What's up, Tutor? Tutor, what's going on? Okay, so we did a watercolor yesterday, and we're going to do another watercolor today. That's right. I got my watercolor right there, a piece of paper. I raised the camera so that you can kind of see a better aerial view, aerial dynamics of it better, better situated for your viewing pleasure. And it is once again, it is a pleasure to have you guys here today. All right, thanks again for it's a Thursday. That's right, Thursday. All right, I always get confused. I always feel like Thursday is just sometimes because of various circumstances, you can shoot, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about trying to explain anything. Let's just get on with this painting here, and we're gonna try another watercolor of this Big Sur area there in Central California. I mentioned yesterday it's considered one of the most beautiful areas in the United States and possibly the world. Though it could be up in the top 20 greatest places, special zones of beauty kind of stuff in the entire world. I don't know. I just don't know. But nevertheless, it is clearly and it been on many lists as being the one of the top handful of beautiful places in the United States. All right, so Big Sur, and I did do a watercolor on site, and let me see if I can show it to you here. I'll just have to pull it out. Basically, I'm going to try to capture this energy because this is the one I did on location. I think I posted it on Instagram. My Instagram. My Instagram, by the way, is at Let's Paint TV, and it's pretty loose. And I'm going to try to capture that energy again, possibly today with the watercolors on a larger canvas, a larger piece of paper. Though that you could consider that a canvas, even though it's a piece of paper. It's an interesting thing to consider, isn't it? Sometimes you would wonder, well, if you do a pastel, watercolor is a painting. That there's no one's questioning that. But what about pastel? Like chalk pastel on paper, and you wonder, well, is that a drawing? Or is that a painting? And I think I tend to veer into that it's a painting. However, I think it could be a case by case thing where there could be a situation where the way you approach the pastels, it would be then a drawing. But if you were to actually blend the colors and you just have fields of color and you're blending, and maybe that's more of a painting. But anyway, these are terms that we don't need to spend too much time talking about. However, I am, because why not talk about something that I don't know much about? After all, it's the internet. Well, I do know something about it, but I'm definitely not a foremost authority. Did I say that right? Foremost. There used to be an ice cream brand called Foremost Ice Cream. I don't even know if they make I think that might have been through Safeway. I'm not sure. It might. I don't. I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't go to Safeway so much anymore. Although I did go to a Safeway in Santa Cruz. Hey, what's up, A.V. Gray? On the way through down the coast to California. Again, happy Wednesday, Evie. Though I believe it's Thursday. Isn't it Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday, Evie. I think you got, unless you are a day behind, which I don't think, the only people I know, no one's really a day behind, but people are a day ahead, our fellow Australians that occasionally watch this show. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to verify today is Thursday, May 11th. Paulette, do not. I checked my phone, and it does say that today is Thursday, and I'm well aware today is Thursday. And exactly, if you were in Japan or on the other Dateline, what's that called? What do they call that? International Dateline. International Dateline. Video game walkthrough is asking a very important question. How do we resolve the definition of good and evil? How do we stop ourselves from projecting what is ideal for us onto others when fighting for what we believe is right? Wow. It's heavy. Heavy. Heavy stuff. That's heavy. We're here to celebrate creativity. We're here to talk about working with various art materials and put forth a creative vibe. All right, so there you go. So we really don't spend any time pondering that. Inadvertently, it may show up, but we don't address that here on this show. Should we get moving here? I should get moving. However, I do also just sort of enjoy talking to you and not do much of anything else. But I think we're going to do some painting. How about that? How about that, my friends? Okay, so watercolor painting, as mentioned. Let's get the watercolors get them over here. And again, I don't have it. I would be nice to have the paint so you could see me touching the paint at the palette. And I don't think, well, I'll tell you what I might be able to do, this, it's entirely possible, so that you could see. I'm going to hold the palette, right here so you can kind of see me doing it, I think. Maybe that's what we can do. And I should get some fresh water. I have these waters are dirty, the little cups of water. So let me go ahead and toss that. Anyway, so watercolor is a weird mechanism of it's next to impossible at times. It's a little frustrating. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm kind of yelling. Maybe you could hear me. But watercolor, as mentioned, is somewhat of a pain in the butt, in the ass. But what I'm going to try to show you here is that it doesn't have to be, it's just how you approach it. It's how you approach it. And so we're going to approach it in a more, just in a more free-flowing way. Oh, shoot. This is going to slide if I don't. Okay, it's not sitting properly. Okay, so give me another minute here. I'm gonna have to cut this paper down, and that's a good opportunity to show you. See, it doesn't fit into my little thing, and that's going to be annoying. So I'm just going to cut the top off a little bit. I'm just going to fold it. It's got a rip edge anyway, so I'm just going to fold it over, and about maybe a half an inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch. And I'm not using a ruler, you know, just you can eyeball this stuff, you know. Okay, we can eyeball it, and it's thick enough that you have to fold it back and forth. And then I'm going to show you a trick. You don't to keep the decal. You want to keep the deckled edges that are really so neat about the watercolor paper. A lot of watercolor paper has a paper. A lot of that's a tongue twister. A lot of watercolor paper has lovely. They call them deckled edges. There's a beautiful rough quality to it. And so if you use scissors to cut this, you will lose that mojo, that beautiful deckled edge feel. But if you rip it, you just have to know how to rip it. Rip it good. Do. Okay. And so you just have to know how to. And there's nothing really too hard about it. But you just want to make sure you fold it a few times, so you can feel like it's going to give way. And you know, a lot of times this does not work, and you rip it and it doesn't rip correctly. But I think I'm going to be able to do this without too much trouble. And you can even, and I'm not even doing it that well, frankly. See, I could do this better. Well, we're just doing this for TV purposes, so you know, it's just. But you can see that it is working, and when we did keep, for the most part, that lovely deckled edge factor. Okay, so now that's going to sit better, and you see we got the deckled edge. It's a little more pronounced, but it does work. Okay, so now it's going to fit in my my palette. What I don't know what you call this. It's a way to table. I guess it's my table. Okay. All right. Here we go. So you saw that I was going to work this idea out. So let's go ahead and do this. Now remember, we're going to try to keep it fresh and flowing, and go light to dark, light to dark. All right. And so that's what we're doing. And we're just going to put down the paint here. I'm not doing any drawing. We're just going to put the light stuff in it. And because you're going light, we can fix it later as we build more colors on top. Okay. Also, we're trying to keep this in a more free-flowing way anyway, and we don't want to have it be something that is somehow just strictly connected to some kind of accuracy. We're looking for the movement, the energy, the excitement, you know. Okay, so that's a nice start here. Let's put down some water here. I don't have another. Do I have a bigger brush? Yes, I do. That's all right. Don't even worry about it. Let's get it going. Boom, boom. Get some. Boom. There you go. And again, we're just going to build this up here, hopefully, and keep going with the paint. Now, hopefully, well, who knows? There's no hope without messing it up, which is where we're headed at times. We're headed that direction. Don't worry about hope or no hope. Just get it going here. Just put the color down. We see some blue there. Put some blue there. Simple as that. All right. Now it was kind of it actually rained on this particular day that we were up there. I was up there. Okay, let's get that going on here. And anyway, so watercolor is a strange beast, particularly when you're going about it in a loose kind of way. So you just have to keep that in mind that it's not always going to work for you, and you're going to have problems and mistakes, and also what I find more times than not too is that you kind of have to do a few of these to kind of get the right sense of what's going on, how you need to go about it, and you learn. You kind of have to learn. So you kind of have to, like the one we did yesterday, I liked it. I kind of liked it, but at the same time, I'm not happy that I feel like it's a little stiff, you know? And for what I want to try to do. So maybe this one will not be as stiff. That's what I'm thinking. And but who knows? Lord knows. Lord only knows. Is that a Beach Boys song? I think he referenced the Lord, didn't he? In some song? I don't know. I believe so. Okay, so we got kind of a nice setup going on here, and we want to try to bring out the exaggerate maybe even the colors that we got going on. Now, the painting that I showed you that I'm working from, I actually ended up, because it was raining, I did it literally in 10 minutes. And I love the energy in it, you know. So you don't have to, you know, and we're going to do this in the course of an hour. God only know, right? Right, Paulette? God only knows. All right, so then we go here with like that. Okay, so like that. Bring some of that, maybe. Oh, that maybe I don't want that, but that's okay. That's okay. We try to maybe counter it with some yellow. Kind of going heavy with the yellow, with the blue. But maybe we need to introduce some other kind of colors here. All right, so yeah, okay, fantastic. Here we go. Put that up there. Let's maybe get some kind of the road detail of the road if we can here. Maybe try to get that going on here. So it's kind of a thing that goes. I guess it's kind of like that. It's kind of corny, but it's a corny view. It's like painting the Golden Gate Bridge, literally. However, we're going to try to, you know, jazz it up in some way or some form or fashion. We're going to try to give it a little extra energy. Dylan, oh, all right. Thank you very much for your support. Fososo. Thank you very much. All the way, where in Mexico? Mexico City? Guadalajara? Okay. Let's work some of this yellow ochre here and put it wherever we feel like we see it. And it's got these beautiful little cliffs kind of going off here and there. Let's just kind of bring those in there. Kind of go heavy, maybe. Be a little heavy-handed, maybe. Why not? With the color now. Try to overtake something or not. Let's just see. You're deep in Mexico. Okay. Put that over there. Get the green going on here. Bring some of that out there. Here. Bring out some. Now there's some beautiful trees here. I'm gonna just I might begin to reference the photos too. That could be. Now there's these rocks. We'll get some of that going on. Some rocks here. At some point, you might want to consider when you're doing a painting that it's not so much the particular location anymore. At some point, I mean, it is. You're not escaping that. We're not trying to. I mean, I guess we're not necessarily achieving anything other than just depicting what we're seeing in this particularly with that little bridge and stuff. I mean, we're not transcending into something else. But I think that's what we would like to try to get to, as opposed to trying to capture it. Keep that option open that you can find some kind of some TM, some transcendence. What do you call that word? I know the abbreviation. I can't pronounce the whatever you're supposed to, however you call it, transcendental whatever. Okay, and but we are enjoying, and you can kind of get that with the watercolor, particularly if you're kind of playing it fast and furious. That we, in a way, what we're doing here, we're not limiting our focus in such a way that we have to abide by exactly what we're seeing, but we're going to, and I do have for help what was already here in terms of the watercolor that I did in literally 10 minutes. So that's sort of my reference, if you will. I got these beautiful trees. I'm just gonna put some red, black there. All right. All right, so we're gonna try to keep the energy going, guys. Keep that water. Maybe I'll switch over to get this bottle of water here. So you can see this is my palette. My paints. I probably need to refresh on these colors at some point, but sometimes working with stuff that needs some help and a muddy palette and colors, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I know sometimes I've heard painters, professors just kind of go in endless nauseum. Is that how you say it? About how that's just you're just ruining everything and by using dirty. I mean, no, not necessarily. I mean, for you, apparently so. But I'm open to the possibilities. All right, so we got that. I'm gonna kind of now refrain. Now I'm getting a little confused because I'm kind of resorting back to the actual photo, which may or may not be a good idea. You're in jalapeno in Tabasco. Oh, I know about Tabasco. Jalapeno chili in Tabasco. Oh, jalapa. Gotcha. But Tabasco, that's in in New Orleans. That's a hot sauce from New Orleans, I believe, right? I think so. Okay, let me see if I can get some of these little rocks here. I'm kind of going heavy on the rocks. Now, I'm a big advocate of being sidetracked and being confused and thrown off, and you know, talking to you guys, and you know, it's kind of helpful, I find, because it frees you from being so tunnel vision into what you're doing, and so. And I, you know, I'm just sort of an advocate of that thought that you can be a little bit confused, but then you just keep painting, kind of thing. Okay, so this is a big clump here. See, so I discovered this, and that's not in my original. Now, I don't want to get too perfect with this, but let's just give it a little bit of a hint at the very least. We'll get a hint there. Of course, that was not in the original drawing, but that's okay. And we want to maybe get past what we're seeing anyway, but at the same time, maybe we want to also incorporate what we also are seeing. And we're kind of letting the paint do its thing. See, the paint does the water does a blend. There's sort of a blend thing going on. You can kind of see it. It's kind of, and I have it tilted. The canvas or the table, or you know, what I'm using has a tilt so that the water bleeds going down. And now it's sort of it's a little out of hand. We're kind of reaching an out of hand moment, and you know, we can kind of run into some problems here because it's just so loaded now with so much color and paint, and we run the risk of just screwing it all up. Which, again, you learn from this. I learned from this. And you discover maybe, so you go, oh shoot. Well, then you have to go, well, then the next time I come about it, I'm going to give it a little, do it a little differently. And let's clean that brush here. Let's work on the sky maybe. But we're still battling here. So that's it's not the end of the world. We haven't ruined it. All that kind of good stuff that is still ahead of us. we can still run into that decision. We still got time to ruin it, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Okay, we're just gonna rework the sky a little bit up there. And as I mentioned, it was kind of It was raining. And so we kind of hit it with some reds and some blues up there. Get a kind of a gray, murky color. Let me get rid of some of that white. All right, let's work on that water here. Get maybe some different variety going on in terms of the brush stroke. Maybe it was just too much of that one way. Maybe we should get it going some other different way here. Even if it's not in the picture, it just helps the whole deal. It works a lot, feels a lot better if you can give some variation. Okay. It's getting nice and loaded now. I kind of, I'm feeling like that water's looking good. Water's kind of looking good here. We can sit back and sip on our beer for a second and take a look at it and all, Let it do its thing with the water. The water is again, it's kind of falling down a little bit. I'll check my emails. Okay, well, it does pop. The colors are popping. I like that, so that's good. Okay, what's this? Oh, this is the little piece of paper that we got. Yeah, just kind of let it talk to you. Sometimes you got to let it talk to you when it comes to watercolor, that is. And, well, painting in general. You just let it talk to you. Talk to me. Talk to me now. Talk to me. And in the process, the water also sort of starts to dry. It starts to dry. And like when it gets hotter, it really will dry. Summertime, or if you're in the sun, boom, it would, boom, dry just like that. Boom. Not so much now because it's not really that sunny, or wasn't really, not too hot today. You want the weather? Let's get you the weather. The temperature here, 72 degrees. So it is sort of still a pretty. That's hard to. 72 degrees. That's kind of hot-ish. Or something. All right. Anyway, well, let's keep an eye on this here. I'm just kind of looking at it. What I think I might try to do is kind of start referencing from the photo as opposed to the actual my drawing. Maybe we'll see. I don't want to get too uptight. We got another 30 some odd minutes, and maybe I finish even before then. So if I feel like it. If I'm done, I'm gonna quit, But we'll set the clock for 8 o'clock Pacific time. Another 25 minutes. But I'm a subscriber to the idea that you can put a one or two brush strokes and bam. You're done, and you have this piece of art that you go, wow, this is great, man. People like it and stuff. It doesn't always work, but I think I always look for that option. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. Hey, I posted a video on YouTube and also on Instagram. Uh, New audio piece. It's a new audio microphone. New microphone. I'm not using it here, but I have a new for when I go outside on location, which I don't do a lot with that, but I could and should, and I plan to. Blah blah blah. And so you can watch. It's the latest little video I posted on Instagram and on YouTube, and it's really kind of neat. I gotta say, because you can walk away from the camera and still be heard, because you're being recorded because it's not connected to the camera. And oh shit. Okay, let me get that. Oh, I got it. Okay, how are we doing, guys? How are we doing? See, a lot of times too, keep in mind too, painting is not always about, but we tend to approach painting like our great good friend Bob Ross, where it's just bada 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 boom 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 nonstop ba 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 ba. And we play that game. We do that for you all on the TV and stuff. But in reality, painting is a whole bunch of other stuff going on, and a lot of times it is just looking at the damn thing and trying to figure out what I should do next. What I should do. What am I going to do next? And then with this watercolor, it's changing. It's changing as we speak. This thing is changing. It's doing its job. It's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. So I'm just kind of looking at it, and I mean, it's not like, big TV excitement. You're not seeing the brush being smashed around. All right. Well, we're about ready to go in there. I'm about ready to get in there. But sometimes you got to let the painting breathe on you and talk to you. You got to let the painting talk to you. Talk to me. Talk to me, painting. What should I do? Hey, Mr. Paint. This is the painting talking to you. I think you should go get another beer and come back and add some various colors here and there. Okay, well, why don't we do that? I'll go get another beer, and we'll come right back. See, but I only have 20 more minutes left, guys. 20 more minutes left. I'm wasting time, but am I? That's a great question. It's a question that we must ponder as I go get another beer. Be right back. All right, we're back. Evie says, make the bit at the bottom a bird? That's a possibility. But I'm trying to be classical in the adaptation of what I'm trying to keep it just sort of landscapey. I'm not at this moment wanting to get interpersonal, inter species, interdisciplinary, inner whatever, Okay. I think the sky, I kind of like how the sky came about, Okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do here, because sometimes you don't know how to go about doing something, and so we just got to now let's get back into the game. Let's get back into the game. It's kind of like a timeout, kind of like had a timeout there, but at the same time we're letting the painting talk to me, and sometimes the blobs of paint, you thought the blobs of paint that you had specially designated, you thought that they were going to just stay there where you put it in and all that kind of stuff. You thought no, it started to blend. And so that's what you're up against with this watercolor, particularly when we're going with a wet approach, which is, of course, what we're doing. See, I'm already realizing I'm screwing this up. I just screwed this up, didn't I? Shoot. Okay, let me see what I'm doing here. Now I'm being analytical, which may or may not be the best thing to do at this moment. But let's bring the mountain in the background. Bring that needed a little more love, I think. Let's keep it fresh and not get too analytical. See, but then ultimately we become analytical. And damn it. And again, think about this. You can do 10 of these and only get one that actually really works, because that's just the way this works is that it ultimately becomes such just that. It's and that's all right. And that's part of the excitement. If you know that, if you're going to get a really nice painting, but it took you 10 paintings to do, yeah, that's hard to take, right? That's kind of like, oh man, I'm not doing that, or I know, I got my together, and I know what I'm doing, and everything I do turns into gold. I'm so awesome, and I studied under all the great whoever artist. Oh man, I kind of like what's happening here. So of course I don't have it right. It's wrong, and but I'm getting it to work, even though it's not right. And that's exciting. And I couldn't have done this painting had I not done this painting, the painting from yesterday, the painting we did yesterday. So in a sense, that's painting. This is painting number 2. Now if we're going with the law of averages, if you got to do 10 paintings, blah blah blah. Well, your averages could be a little better than that. However, with watercolor, you got to remember it's very finicky, and I think you just have to keep that in mind. Okay, so I got too dark there. I'm going to take my paper towel, and I'm just going to pick some of that up, because I kind of went too dark there, you know. And that's something you can do always too. If you really want to have control of this watercolor medium, this is a good move, but it can be a little, you can kind of rely on it too much, I think. Again, I'm no expert, but I just feel like you might run into, as with anything, issues where you over saturate, over employ, whatever. All right, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do. I'm just going to beef up this foreground. It's a beautiful, beautiful green, which I have a lot of. Well, it's more of a yellow, but it's kind of ultimately a green. Let's get that going here. Try to. Now I'm kind of using it. At some point, I'm using oil, the watercolor, as if it were oil paint. And that's just sort of my approach. So I'm not in that sense that I'm not feeling intimidated by this material, you know, being a watercolor, which is really, it is kind of finicky. It's a kind of a finicky thing, isn't it? So we are going to try to keep it fresh. Feeling fresh. I'm feeling fresh. I'm feeling fresh. You know, I took a shower this afternoon, so I feel fresh, and I think it shows in my painting. What? Okay, let's see what this does, because again, this is watercolor. Rusty says I could take 10 rolls of film to get one photograph. Right? Yeah, that's a great example. Photography, and I don't even know who takes rolls of film anymore, but all the power to you, Rusty. But you know, with digital cameras and stuff. But people, you know, as you know, we all know, you can take hundreds, and that's a great analogy. You take hundreds of photos, and then lo and behold, there's just, you know, there's a one or two that really like go boom, hey, they talk to you. And so, you know, you might want to approach, you could, and I recommend that you approach painting in that regards, creativity in that regards. And photography is a perfect example of showing you exactly why, because it shows you how all these various images do not always add up to being very interesting, and you know, for various reasons. You know, there's so many possibilities. You know, first of all, you have you can rely for. Here's the problem with a lot of people when it comes to painting. They rely they rely on everything on their technical abilities, and by such, and maybe they do have knowledge of other aspects of image making in terms of cropping and you know, correct ratios of what should be correct ratio of what's in front of you versus, you know, all the classic stuff that people might learn, but even then, that only gets you so far, and you still are going to have issues where things are not working out. Things don't work. Things are not going to work out. And you still gotta you still gotta make those 10 paintings to get the one good painting. Now, like I said, hopefully you get a little better at it, and so it's not exactly 9 paintings, and you just you throw 9 paintings away just to hold on to the one. However, say if by chance if someone were to say, look, Mr. Let's Paint, we want to put on an art show with your work, and I'd be like, hey, awesome, and they were like, you just make a whole bunch of stuff, but we're only gonna pick, we're only gonna pick a few pieces, and I mean, ultimately that's what happens anyway. We don't necessarily throw away those other pieces. You can learn from those other pieces. You can rework them. You can always I find with watercolor, not so much. I have an issue with that. I haven't. Maybe it's because I approach watercolor in sort of the classical orthodox approach to painting, where you're not using the white. You're using the white of the paper, and that kind of stuff. Anyway, I sort of like, you see, we gave some weird dots there. You can kind of see that. I'm not sure I like that, but it's there. Now this is good. This is I hadn't mentioned, but this is Arches cold press paper. I think it's 150 pounds. Oh, 150 pounds. Oh, I'm not really. I think if it's a higher number, then it's even thicker. Anyway, it's not that thick, as you can tell, or I showed you, or when we were folding it. So there you go. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, so let's. Oh, okay. So that paper is so it's a good quality paper. It's considered professional paper. And these watercolors are also considered professional. These are made by Okay, I'm gonna get the name. I'm gonna have to come back to you on the name of these watercolors. Wait! I got it right here. Kramer watercolors. That's it right here. I got it right here. Thank you. It's called Kramer. I don't know if you can see it. This is the brand. They make this stuff in Germany, and then they have a store in New York City, and it's called Kramer Pigments. And these are some top quality. I don't know if there's a better watercolor maker of watercolors out there, and affordable. Okay. Those are my tips of the day. We still got 5 more minutes here. I'm still going to go give it a little more go, though I don't know where. But we're just going to let it flow. I'm kind of sensing that maybe the water is just a little too much green, so maybe I need to do something to that. Like right there, maybe that's too much green. I'm sensing. So you got to be willing to ruin your painting sometimes. So we might be in that we might be in that place. Okay. But also, so we kind of we also let this set and let it kind of dry. I mean, you could use an hair dryer. You could use a hair dryer to dry things, but I've never cared for that kind of behavior or that kind of move. So we're just trying to knock out some of that if possible. I don't even know. And maybe not so much water, just kind of go straight up with the pigment to try to kind of use it as oil paint more as opposed to a watercolor effect, which is probably not what it's meant for. You know, it's not really meant to do that, but we're just doing it anyway. Because we can. But you can see, look, we did this painting all within the course of an hour, and it's got possibilities. It's promising. Is it a masterpiece? Is it something that someone would want to buy? Well, I don't know. I'll probably end up, if I feel like it's slightly okay, I'll probably put it up for sale and maybe someone would buy it. But maybe no one buys it. That's okay. That's okay if no one buys it. We enjoyed painting it. I enjoyed painting it. And really, that's really all that it matters, is that you had a good time painting, that we had a good time painting, and that you can have a good time painting too. Okay, so I kind of go back to that, maybe get just a little bit of darkness. We're kind of running out of time, so let's just give it a little more hint there. Yeah, like a little more doodad there to kind of show off the cliffs. There's a whole bunch of cliff action there. So we get that going there. Just a hint, just a little bit of more color there. Oh, that went crazy. And that's okay. That's all right to go crazy. It's all right. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. If it did get out of hand. Let me get rid of some of that white. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe that's too much. I'm always tempted to try to bring out the white, introduce the white. I still, part of me wants to get that white going because I see things that I could bring in the white, and I always feel like it doesn't work, but it could, and so I shouldn't, limit, be such a purist and all. I've been kind of using this yellow, fluorescent orange, and it kind of does the job in terms of representing sort of has a light feel to it, but it's not, obviously not white. Maybe some help in the foreground too. Not just a bunch of yellow there. Let's give it some variety. There, some variety. Look at that. There you go. Just kind of give it a little balance. Maybe not too much, but just a little bit of hint here and there might not be a bad idea, right? Never know. Maybe you go overboard. That's okay. Maybe come back in with some yellow. Maybe not be so obvious. I don't know. Let's see here. Maybe a little blue. Sometimes you'd be surprised when you introduce a color that is not necessarily what you're seeing, but you put it in the area that, you know, it's, you know, like that's clearly a field that's green, but we put a little blue in there. What the heck? Why not? At the very least, it helps maybe break up the maybe the monotony of it all. If it's too much of a one particular color, one too much, you just never know. And these mistakes, you'd be surprised how they can do a lot for you. And they suggest they suggest something. So it's just a matter of knowing where to put it. Okay, we'll put a little. Maybe we're getting kind of put a little waves, some dark waves here and there. Just a little hint, just a little, guys. Nothing too crazy. We're not gonna go crazy, but you know, obviously, I might. Might go a little crazy all over the place, but I'm gonna try to hold off on doing too much of it, just a little bit here and there. So your eye maybe goes to that spot, but you know, you don't want it to, you just don't want it to go everywhere. I think we're kind of coming to the end, and our time is up. Our time is up. Our time is up. Oh, wait. Let's see if I can fix something here. Should I fix? Yeah, maybe I can bring about that guy just a little bit more. You can see it. It's pretty corny. Let's make that dark. The inside's dark. Yeah, maybe that's what. All right. Soften it up. Okay, just a hint. See, there's just a little more of a hint feel. Just a little more hint of a feel. There's more stuff. Ah, yeah. Maybe just go. Well, I was gonna say goodbye, but then I got kind of. Oh shoot, that was not what I wanted. That's all right though. Just sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Okay. Well, we tried. We tried, and maybe there's something to this, but I don't think we're going to go much further with it for now. So thanks again, everyone. I'll post a picture up on Instagram, because why not? And you can see that it had promise. The painting had promise, and I think I kind of ruined it, maybe. Maybe I can save it, maybe not. And it's okay. It's a weird game. Painting. Watercolor painting. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it here for us tonight. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. If you want to listen to me, if you're on the East Coast and you're awake at 7:50 a.m. Eastern Time, you can listen to me on WFMU's Wake and Bake every Friday at 7:50 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so maybe you can hear me tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I'll see you, and I'll post stuff on during the weekend and all that, most likely. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. There's that camera. That camera was not doing any good there.